This is Renewing the Man. Clarity under pressure. The weekly call to bring clarity to your situation.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Everyone awake?
Everybody's here?
We are awake. We are awake and we are present.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Any wins? I got a win.
Yeah.
I did emotional work this morning, man. Oh my God. I'm still raw from it. And I posted a video of part of it in the community as well, so you can watch it. It might be triggering, but it was definitely, it went down to 14-year-old little Wally, and he was hiding in a corner. Like I could see him in the right side, hiding behind the door, and then I was able to reach out to him and bring him towards me. And man, it just went.
Woo!
So that was my win.
Woo-hoo!
Nice.
Yeah, I read that this morning on the post there. Yeah, powerful story, man. Way to have the way to stand up for yourself like that and do that.
Always, man. And I shared it too because I think it's also powerful that it's something that we do, and it's powerful for us, man. Everybody to share that part of us, to say, hey, you're not alone. So that was my reasoning about posting and sharing that with everybody.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
We got Mr. James over here. He's joining the call.
Hey, good morning, guys.
A little intro.
I'm a newbie to the group. Oops, what'd I do? Hang on. Oh, I see. There we go. It's fairly early in the morning here. I don't know where everybody's at. I'm in California.
Okay. Where in California are you?
I'm just north of LA in a town called Bakersfield. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I was in Bakersfield January.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where are you at now?
I'm on Vancouver Island in Canada.
Oh, okay. So you're still we're in the same time zone.
Yeah. And so is Nathan. So,
Yeah, Langley.
Yeah.
Mainland,
Oh, you're in Virginia.
No. It might sound like it. Not all my life. South Langley, so right by the border of Canada and Washington. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
just north of Vancouver, like southeast of Vancouver.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're all on Pacific Standard Time.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any wins?
Yeah, I released a music video. Oh, yeah.
What's that?
I put out a music video. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Nice, man. What was the music video about?
It's a song that I wrote called Time and Space. And the second of two that I had in the can that were ready to go, that just needed some video to go along with. So get that all done and on YouTube and all the social media stuff. So yeah.
Sweet, man. Do you do that quite often, or?
Now it's been 2 this month so far. So now I just gotta keep on working on some other music projects I got going. Keep doing it.
Right on.
You're an artist, huh? That's sweet. I don't think I've ever made a music video.
I used to make it like rock.
Make it like with
What's
rock?
it? Christian rock, right?
Christian rock. Oh, okay. That's sweet,
Awesome.
man.
Yes,
I know Andy has a win in there.
Yeah, I kind of had
two. I'm not even sure which one you're referring to. While I did.
The one where you called me at church. That was a fucking massive win, brother. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, that it's been a bumpy week, starting with Easter. I got to church. My wife wanted to come with us, and I mean, it was tough. I was already in my head that morning, but yeah, I had to step away. Got a good bit of it out, but it led me. We actually had a conversation this week, which was surprising. It started just talking about our son's schooling going into next year, and I was floored. She actually asked how I was doing. So led to some decent conversation. You could tell she got upset at the end of the call. Nothing that I did, but she's like, well, I had mentioned before, I go to a group at church called Divorce Care. It's a program just for people to gather, and she found my workbook a few weeks ago. Not that I was hiding it. I just had it sitting down, and she was like, well, why are you doing divorce care? And, I just explained to her, I was like, it's for people that are separated too. I just, I need to walk through this with people. But long story short, got to talk. So that was good. And another win for me, I actually got rear-ended in my truck. And normally that would have sent me to the moon. And it wasn't a big deal. But I was completely calm. Like I wasn't triggered at all. I got out of the car and I talked to the I talked to the kid and I was like, hey man, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, dude, relax. We're good. I was like, is your car fine? Yep. I was like, my car's fine. Let's have a good night. See you later, dude. And I was picking dropping my son off. So that's sucky. But I was just so cool. I was like, normally this would have sent me to the moon, and it did. So
That's awesome.
That's the power of the work, brother. That is the power of the work. That's such a massive win right there. Huge.
Yeah.
So let's hear that celebration. Let's hear it. Bring it.
Woo!
Woo!
Andy, you'd make a fine Canadian if you say sorry when it wasn't your fault. That's the Canadian thing.
You Canadians and us Southern folks aren't too far separated. I mean, geographically, yes, but I'd say with the hospitality on par.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I can say I had a win on Monday, I'd say. Sunday, don't worry, Andy, I had a rough day too. But both, Wally and Nick were there to help me. And I don't know if it was an Easter Sunday thing, but more along family. I had a bit of still a mother wound in me and a couple of things that were still triggering inside. So through some of the help that I got as well as support, I was able to process and look deeper at things, and even into Monday got past a deeper mother wound in me that was still in there. And so it was pretty sweet. Full on, okay. You know how it goes. You have to get the emotion out, and it was pretty messy with the crying and everything. But I mean, man, I said, no, that's it. I'm not carrying this any further, and went deep into it, and it came out. So that's
awesome.
It feels good to have the resolve, like to be done with it. Like us guys, just like, hey, get the issue looked at and get it out of here now.
Yeah. Oh, we dug into it. Like, it's amazing because I was reflecting on this on Easter. Both you and Andy were going through your the waves of emotion, and it was really amazing to be able to carry both of you on Sunday. And that's for me, for that being Easter, that's doing God's work on Easter. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You lost Andy.
Oh, lost Andy. Is he coming back? He's back. Guess who's back? Andy's back. Tell a friend. So what did you get out of? What was the clarity that you got out of that from Sunday? Like, if you dug deeper into that, like.
Me or Andy?
Nathan. Yeah, Nathan. Yeah.
Clarity, just that. Well, the obvious one is that we can, as guys, and compared to what we've been raised or taught, we're very highly driven, emotional beings, and and the thing about it is we like things calm, we like things good. When we get into a storm of our emotions, and we can't figure it out, while taking on the ownership of everything as we're stepping into the process of what this whole community is about too, is owning ourselves as men, and it's while some of the emotion and the weight at once, it can create a pressure cooker. So it's really good to be aware of that. No man is meant to be alone. It's written in the Bible.
Yeah.
And like, aside from just the Bible, like, no man is meant to be alone, and it ties right into you having a support group and system, or guys who are going the same way as you, where you're no longer allowing garbage to be able to be triggering you anymore. So as you go through that process, the perspective is that it's important to have a community like this and to support yourself and other guys, and have guys who have been through it, like Nick and Wally, for example, have done tons of emotional work on themselves. They're not just showing up here teaching, based off of something they looked up. It's very real, and when you feel in the moment like no one can see you and what's going on, and like that, I felt that. And then I think, Sunday was just like straight up, like, it's Sunday. I usually make this day only for family. I don't even call my friends on Sunday. Now it's like a tradition because I like to just rest. And I was having such a bad time. Like, it was like, this is like, it was heavy. Like, one of the heaviest in a while. And then I was like, let's text Wally. Hey, man, how's it going? And then, and I'm one up sitting there, like, he's probably like, Nathan doesn't like to text friends on Sunday. What is he doing?
Yep.
And
I was like,
and then I realized,
as soon as I saw it.
then I realized what time of the night it might be for him. Like, sorry, buddy, don't worry, we can talk tomorrow. But he still reached out and asked how I was, and I just told him not okay. So he helped me out, and Nick helped me out, and what I was dealing with, and it was a very much, my point is a very overwhelming amount of feelings us guys can have, and when it gets to a certain point, as strong as we are in our logic, it doesn't handle it. So we need to have that kind of community and support to get our emotions out, learn how to do that well, and to see more. And once we learn how to do that and see more of ourselves and be seen for ourselves, we don't have these things show up and catch us off guard. Like, it literally feels like sometimes it's like, where the heck did that come from? And throws you right off. But that's being real in life, like as a human being and as a guy. Yeah, that's my perspective on it. It's just, it's important to know how to do the emotional work. Like, I've done like 6 months, I think, of emotional work, and it's it's still got more to go. Like, it's not suddenly I just got it in 6 months, like a program or something. It's finding the ways that surface up in me where I'm not solid as a man, and in prayer or through being married as well. Like, suddenly I get blindsided with things that I'm not. Just like, come on, man! Like, how is it, especially when you calm down or get through it and you're looking back, like, it seems like a very simple thing I can just take care of right here. It wasn't.
Nope.
It was like a root attached to 5 other things on the surface. So you finally get to it, and then your life actually changes. You're not, that area is now met. It's no longer hidden. That's another
Awesome.
great part. Well, anyway, tried to make all of that into the smallest I could.
That's beautiful, man. Well said. Well
great.
presented.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
sharing.
you.
James, I understand you also do somatic work and a child shadow work and went through a divorce yourself, right? If I'm correct from one of your videos I just recently saw.
Oh yeah.
The purging, the words at the beach with the purging, the purge.
It's interesting because I had some connection with you, and you were talking about your divorce, and it's a total mirror of mine. I mean, mine was 33 years ago. So, and I love what you were saying there, Nathan, because the things you said that really stuck out of it. It's okay for you to comment on that, but it's just that men are highly emotional.
Yeah.
We just process differently. I don't think the idea that somehow it's going to be
Hey, James, can you talk into the mic a little closer?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Or Andy, maybe can you mute your mic on your side?
Yeah, sorry. I
Well,
didn't
I'm
realize
gonna-
y'all were getting feedback.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
I'm also
it was,
gonna,
there. Much better. Okay.
Oh,
Great.
it's, yeah, it was Andy's.
and I'm gonna grab my earphones here too, so I can. It'll be easier.
Now we got you clear. It was just towards
Okay.
the background noise from the car. You're okay.
Yeah,
now.
I was just saying that I really appreciate that piece about men being highly emotional, and also that logic piece. I felt for years, and I've been doing this work for over 30 years in my own self, and it's like I've never ever met a guy that didn't have these deep emotions, deep feelings, deep desires for love and hurt.
The mic is a little bit stuff. Maybe without the mic is better.
Okay.
It's not
Better?
coming through as well. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah. All good, buddy.
Sorry.
Figure out the freaking tech. That's the first thing. Okay?
Yeah.
But and it never stops. I mean, in some ways, thank God it never stops, and in some ways, it's like fuck, it never stops. And
Yeah.
every day there's something. Waking up for me too. Like wake up with like the sense of like having not accomplished what I really need to or want to accomplish. It's a daily practice for me to step up, connect with people, connect with what's going on, and I do have a win. I just finished an 8-week program, developing keynote speeches and getting online, not online, but on stage and presenting.
Right.
And so I finished that, recorded my keynote, wrote it. Now it's the whole process of developing it. And one of the main story of that keynote is coming out of an intense divorce, and then how I, was able to, or all the things that I needed to do to learn to figure out how to regulate and walk through life with some balance and grace, and it's a continuous process. I mean, right now there's one little. I mean, I'm sitting at 33 days of no alcohol, so that's probably the longest I've talked about alcohol in like 15 years.
There you go.
Yeah, connecting with people like yourselves, and it's always drawing me forward. I didn't feel like I was like screwing my life up, but I was like, well, I can do better. Like there's one more level of being able to have clarity, and one less level of that sense of depression. I mean, alcohol's a depressant in any case, plus it screws your system all up, your organs. So yeah, I'm feeling healthier and more clear, and I feel accomplished. And you know, there's always these pieces. I'm getting the opportunity, I'll call it, you know, to spend this time with my dad, who's going to be 89 this
Nice.
year. So, you know, it's that time of life. And so I'm getting to be able to hang with that. So this is a whole new experience for me. And there's kind of a weight, you know, there's also like a gratitude. You're like, yeah.
That's awesome,
Oh,
man.
I felt that emotion right there. Oh, I felt that. Ooh, beautiful, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Let that out, man. You gotta let it out. This is the place you can do it, man. Because I felt it. I mean, I'm so raw and I'm very sensitive, so I could feel it, man.
Every day,
You know,
right?
yeah. You know, that's part of it. Like, look, I do tons of emotional work, and I help men process. But like this morning, I had to do it for myself too, and I went to a place I didn't expect to. I was looking for it. I was searching, and it was hard because I've done so much work, right? But then I had to go deeper, and then I had to write it down in Claude, and then I was writing it down in Claude. Claude just spit it out and then reversed it on me, and I read it, and then oh my god, it just triggered me, and then boom, it just made me take off exactly where I wanted to go. You know, and the emotion just poured out, and I was, you know, so like connecting to that, and even like I'm a coach, but what coach would I be if I didn't do my own work? Right? What coach would I be if I wasn't able to go into that space myself and to clear out
Mm-hmm.
my hurts, my wounds, my traumas, my deficits, my fear? I wake up, you know, and that's the thing. It was trying to figure out what I was afraid of, you know, and it's creating abundance, creating, you know, coming from this place of lack and fear and trying to make sure I don't lose my house and building and doing all this stuff and fighting for it, but still waking up with that fear. And James, I can relate to that. Like, I feel like also you wake up with that same fear of loss. And I can feel like the emotion is in me too. I'm like, I have tears rolling in the back of my eyes as well for you right now. And I feel that. And it's the same thing like me waking up with that fear, the same thing you waking up with that fear of that possible loss. I lost my father 26 years ago and my sister in 2008 to suicide. But I didn't deal with it. Then I lost my wife in 2020. You know, so boom, boom, boom. It's never ending story. And as I related to you, and what I said to you, my divorce was the greatest gift my wife actually could have given me because it gave Wally back to Wally. It was my superpower, you know? And your father, in a way, and what you're dealing with your father, is you're giving back to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're giving that love and that gratitude back to him, knowing that his days are numbered.
Yeah.
So you get to show up. Not only do you get to show up for James and that little boy that still loves his father.
Still seeking approval.
Yeah. Bang, you
You
took
know,
the
that
words
shit
right out of my
comes up,
mouth. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, can you get that approval before he goes? And is that part of the feeling that the loss? Right?
Yeah.
The same thing within marriage. You know, when we talked, you said you equated what I said to you about my divorce, how it shifted me into who I am. You said the same thing. That was part of your keynote,
Oh yeah.
right? So emotions and the feelings, we like, and you said it earlier too. It's never ending. You've been doing this for 30-something years, and it's never ending. There's always something. But if we need to learn how to have the tools and have the support, as Nathan mentioned, the masculine support and men who are doing the work, have done the work, and have a ritual. I didn't have anybody this morning to help me go through emotional work. I had to coach myself into it because I've trained myself and was able to coach myself the way that I would coach a man. And I asked myself the same questions. I'm in there, and because I posted the video, and I'm in there, you can see me. I'm reaching out. I'm reaching out to little Wally, and I'm pulling, and I'm asking for his permission to allow me to get him, to bring him closer to me, right? And then what came up for me was not being capable or feeling capable enough, but then having to remember my magic, the ability that I have, my intuition, my internal understanding of how emotions work, and reach in there and how one can be reached energetically, and the walls can be broken down and connect with that person, and then they can receive the gift of healing within themselves and break those barriers down enough that they can feel it within themselves. And it's like you said, we're going to climb that mountain to the day we die. There's always going to be emotion. There's always going to be feeling. There's always going to be something. But how do we show up? How do we deal with it? How do we rise to the occasion and in our power, in our strength, in our life? Not from anger, not from resentment, not from ego, but from love, self-love, and love for those that we love.
Awesome.
Yeah, the one of the things that is just wonderful about doing this kind of work continuously for many years is that you learn skills, you learn tools, and you also learn that this is not going to kill you. This too shall pass.
It
remember
feels
when,
like it.
right after that first divorce, and I was, it felt like, shoot, this is the rest of my life. This is, over the years and learning, now I can have that intensity, that emotion, that sense of fear or challenge or whatever it is, and know this is we will pass through this. I have the skills and the tools, and I know how to reach out to other men and other groups, and that's the beauty of staying with it and being consistent.
Yeah. Awesome.
That thing for you this morning isn't gonna mash you for the next 10 or 15 days. Like, you get up, do it, then you go on. That's the beauty of it.
Exactly.
It's free.
Exactly. Yeah, it was very freeing, man, because it was very stopped, and that's why we're here, is to get unstuck, right? And to get that clarity and give ourselves that permission to feel and understand what is going on within us, because we as men, we weren't taught this as kids. We didn't have rite of passage. We didn't grow up with a father or a mother who said, this is how you deal with your emotions. We had to go through hardship, pain, and suffering in order for us to shift. And I, when you mentioned that the other day, it actually provoked a thought in my mind about how that divorce and my divorce put me in the position where I am today. I wouldn't have had it without it. I wouldn't have discovered this part of me, this version of me, which is fucking beautiful and amazing and magical, and can help other men or women go through such a fucking powerful, deep release and get clarity on who they are and find their truth. If it wasn't for that, right? But this I'd say this to Andy. I'll direct this to Andy. Like, regardless of whatever happens with you and your wife, right? You're in separation, but just remember that part of this, what's happening is in a way, it's a gift, because she's giving you the gift of finding Andy, the real Andy, the one that loves himself, that forgives himself, that takes care of himself, and then shows up the way that he wants to show up, not just for himself, but for his kids and for his wife. So I don't know.
It's tough. I mean, that's exactly what the goal is. For me, it's the thing I go back and forth with in the current situation is I have to take what Nick and Wally have told me is letting the old relationship die, and if my wife and I end up staying together, somehow, that I have to let all that go, and it's just 19 years of of just hang on just a second.
No worries.
So for me,
Sorry, my son just
Yeah.
was running out to unload my truck. I was like, I got it, man. But I feel like my identity is tied with her, and that's the tough part. Um,
Hmm.
that's what I've struggled with all week is like letting her go. And I got into my head bad yesterday. It's when we were riding down the road, me and a couple of buddies, and I was facing backwards. And as just things were disappearing, I mean, it was just kind of a triggering moment because I was like, I that's what I'm doing right now. I have to let go of that and let it disappear. And it's tough, man. I mean, like every time I have a conversation with my wife, I get off the phone and I feel like it's such a huge win, but I know I don't know, at the same time, it's like it's not fixed. She's not back. And that's the stuff that I'm gonna have to be working with for a while. Because I mean, I get like there's times during the week this week, it was like I just need to let her go. Be okay that we're gonna get divorced. Like this is gonna happen. You can't stop it. And I know, and I don't know if that's the right thing to be able, because I just want to heal. Kind of like you were talking about, James. It's just, you just want to heal. It's like, can this process stop? Can I stop feeling this? And like you were talking about, Nathan, is the waves like being good for a few days and then it just be a freaking crack in the teeth. I mean, like literally, because I slept poorly on Saturday. So on Sunday when I woke up, going back to Easter, like my mind was racing. It was like, oh my gosh, he's probably cheating on me and all this stuff. And literally, like I get to church and I look at her and she's beautiful and my kids are there, and I just was about to lose it. And so I had to leave, and I got it out. Like I said, thank God Wally was available and I got it out. But it was just a rough day. I mean, picking my son up and he's in tears at the end of the day. It's like, Dad, I hate that you weren't able to be there because they were over at my wife's parents' house, and it's like, oh, when's the hurt stop? I just want it to stop. But I know that I've got to grow within myself to not be controlled by those external things and just have getting my source of joy not from this world. Having that higher power always fill me up and leaning on that and knowing that relationships are going to come and go and people are going to come and go, but just staying focused on that higher power. But it's tough, man. I mean, it's like you were saying, Nathan, have a great month, have a great 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden it's like you just wake up one morning and a swift kick in the nuts. Here it is.
And I wanted to talk to that, Annie. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, right? Because there are a couple ones in there because your wife is wanting to know if you're still in the marriage, right? And she mentioned that to you.
Yeah.
Right. And she asked you about it. So there are wins there. I don't, it's like, so that's the other thing is your ego is going to the worst possible outcome.
100%.
And that's where you have to shut it down. And so, like, ego, shut the fuck up. You don't know what's going to happen here. And all you can do is continue to do the emotional work and release that pressure, release that pain, and get it out of you so you can show up, the way you need to show up, the way that your kids need you to show up, the way that your wife needs you to show up. And so she can start feeling and seeing the difference in you. But the context that you're holding around that is the wrong context because what you're doing is you're feeding into hurt that's in the future because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yes,
it's not there. You haven't arrived there, So you got to shut that down.
Well, it's for me. It's been the anticipation of emails from attorneys. As soon as it's like, okay, I know something's coming. The consent order is due any day. Oh, if that doesn't come, we're going to court May the 4th. Here it comes, and that's the part that makes me really anxious because it's that part because it's all legalistic, But I hear what you're saying, big time.
So you can do emotional work prior to experiencing something? So my wife, when we were going through separation, told me her whole plan, right? She's already lost 125 pounds. She's like, I'm going to lose 150 pounds. I'm going to start dating. I'm going to start smashing dudes. I'm going to find a new husband. I'm going to have a new family. And we're going to be divorced. And so she gave me this whole plan of what she was planning on doing. And so I envisioned all the guys that she was going to have sex with and let all of that out, because we've been together since she was 14 and I was 15. We'd only ever been with each other. And so I just envisioned all of that, took all that hurt that I felt was going to come out of that and released it before it happened. So when it did happen 5 years ago on Easter, when she went and slept with her boyfriend for the first time, well, we were still married, not divorced yet. I was in a better place to handle that. It still hurt, but I was able to have dealt with most of the emotion before it actually happened. And so when it did happen, I was able to just process it in that night and let it go. And like realizing it's not about me. This is her and her journey. This is what she needs to do in order for her to get to that place of feeling loved and accepted that she's never felt before. So it's something that's available. So knowing that you're going to get these papers, knowing that this is going to have you feel hurt and that you've lost or whatever that feeling is that you are feeling, you can actually start to do the work on that prior to them showing up, so that when you do receive that paper in hand, it's not going to be that devastating thing that you think it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, because where my mind always wants to go, like you're talking about, it's like, all right, if I know this is coming, then I just don't. And this is what I've done my whole life, and I know it's not a good thing. It's like, as soon as you hurt me, to stop having any more hurt, you're gone. Like, you don't exist in my world anymore. And I know that's not a good thing, but that's definitely been, and that's where I feel the pull. It's like, fine, if we're done, we're done. Don't ever call me. Don't ever look at me. Let's get separate places. Don't ever need to see you again. And I know that's not real. I got 3 children. There's going to be marriages. There's going to be graduations. There's going to be a myriad of things. I mean, my son, he's 13. So it's, it's another 5 years, 7 years of co-parenting and yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. And that's where I got to keep doing the work. It's just, God, it sucks. I mean, because like it was a gut punch this week, because she was like, well, maybe our focus isn't getting back together. It's just focusing on being great co-parents. And deep inside, I'm screaming. I'm like, I don't want to be a fucking co-parent. I want to be just parents together. And but I don't have control over that. And it sucks, man. It's just not, it's not fun.
No, it's not. But that old relationship led to where you're at right now. And so wanting to go back into that is not a healthy thing, right? You want to have a healthy relationship where you can communicate, where you can express what you need to express to your wife and allow that to show up for the kids in a way that's healthy as well, right? And until you start doing the work on yourself to deal with, why am I always cutting people out of my life when they hurt me? Why am I pushing people away when I know that I need to have relationships with them? What's going on inside me that I haven't dealt with yet? So that once I do deal with that, things are going to shift and change, and all going to be a completely different way of me showing up, where I can have the relationship that I want to have with my wife. And she's going to feel that energetic shift in you once that happens. It may not be enough for her in that moment to get back together, but it's going to be a start towards working together with her on a new and deeper level, which will give opportunities for other things for you to show up in other ways.
Because remember too, Andy, as you do this work, your energy, you're holding on, right? The what she feels from you, right? The control, the manipulation, the detachment. right? The old you is dying off as you continue to do this work, right? And as you allow the new you to enter in and connect with, actually, let's say not the old you, let's say the real you, the true you, the real Andy, the one, the little boy, right? And that didn't want to go down this road, but did because he didn't have the tools to deal with his emotions and his fears and his doubts that caused him all this pain and hurt throughout life until now. So part of it is getting back to the real Andy, that exists. He's there, and he's just waiting for you. And I think that's the Andy that your wife wants to see and feel. The one that loves, that is open hearted and not afraid to be open and shielded, and allows himself to be in front of her and to be seen by her. I think that's part of a lot of relationships, is that we as men, we always get caught up in, I'm going to hold this in. I'm going to be the strong one. I'm going to be tough. I'm not going to let this get to me. But at the end of the day, that affects you internally. That affects you energetically. When you bring that energy home, she feels it. She's rattled. She feels like she's walking on eggshells around you, right? So we got to shift her out of walking around the eggshells and being afraid of that version of you that has brought you to this place of separation. And how do we do that? We do that by going back to your truth.
Yep.
Nick, do you want to add something there?
Oh, no, it just froze for a second. I'm like, oh no, was it me or was it Chloe?
I got it.
It was me.
You got something? What do you want to add?
Yeah, I got it.
I was gonna say, but even like talk about layers, the trust part. Like, so for example, like I've had this thing for years that if I don't write it down, I'll forget. And so, just talk about all of that we just said, and into trusting yourself, and talk about being blindsided. I've been blindsided most of my life. It was my upbringing. It was my family environment in many ways, and so really making sure I get it, or really making sure I understand something is like I naturally value knowledge and understanding. And in doing a lot of the work on myself, I've actually began to remove the fear part of that value. The better or else, you better get it, or you're gonna get blindsided again, or you're gonna something, the fear of loss, like Wally said, So my point is that even as we're talking here, I found myself like writing down a quick thing, like I really gotta remember that part. I got like 3 or 4 things, but I'm like, hey, just trust yourself. Like I removed some of the pain of when I couldn't. A lot of it actually, but still now reminding myself, hey, trust yourself, love yourself, and all of the aspects, even the ones that you guys were just talking about, they will happen. It's really you were able to breathe naturally. This also will. And
that's awesome. That's awesome what you brought, Nathan. Andy, does that make sense what Nathan shared here? It's really beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
Like where, the part of you that's still hurting, right, is that part of you that's not trusting that you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's never going to end. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, it's April. We're almost halfway through April, so this has been almost 4.5 months. And like I said, I've had great weeks. And then it's, like I said, last week just sucked. So it's like taking a step backwards. But exactly to your point, and like all of you said, this isn't going to kill me. I've been through heartbreak before. Granted, it was much shorter relationships and there weren't kids involved and financial implications and everything else. But, many people have been through it and they're fine. They're still making it through life.
I'd like to
Nick,
throw
you want to add?
here if I can.
Go ahead, go for it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, to you, Andy, but also just kind of in general, is that, one of the things that I find with myself and I see with a lot of people is it's very easy we get caught up in the head around this kind of stuff, around the pain, around the chaos, around the stress, the unknowing, what's going to happen kind of a thing, ruminating about the past. I could have done better. It could have been
Mm-hmm.
different. The conversations over and over and over in the head, sleepless nights, all of that stuff. And that's just kind of part of the territory. That's kind of what has really been my interest for a long time is, okay, my insides, what's happening in here, that head spin, the tension, the feelings are not matching really what's going on out there. Because, I can say, oh, I'm not going to die. I don't know what's going to happen with her. This is still an unknowing. And, I could make it be an exciting thing like, wow, what are we going to do next? Right. But what I'm more concerned about is, how do I regulate my interior? How do I find those tools? What are those tools? How do I build that foundation so that no matter what's going on out there, I can face that, I can step up to it, I can, with that knowing. And we talked a little bit about somatics, and those tools for me, right, are breath, movement, and awareness, so that mindfulness piece, so that, because that try not to be too scientific here, but the nervous system is ultimately plastic and can be retrained, and that reactivity in the body is generally something where the nervous system was trained at an earlier age or at an earlier time, or was not given the tools, to be able to self-regulate, to be calm. I mean, they're teaching this stuff in like SEAL Team 6. I mean, they're teaching this at the highest levels. So, what are those tools that you can pick up, that I can pick up? Like I said, just simple breath work, diaphragmatic breath, moving my body when I'm feeling that tense, and knowing how to regulate myself just has gone a long way for me to be able to navigate a whole variety of things. I mean, I have 3 brothers died in less than 8 years, 6 years, I think it was, if I count it through. 3 of them, and a mom, and I mean, various another divorce, and then a couple of breakups, and just wild stuff, and just being able to, I'm not perfect, I'm not like I went through just like all calm and wonderful with it all, but I learned over the years how to not just be in the constant freak out, you know?
Yeah.
And it took a lot. I mean, I literally went through like 8 years of sleeping an average of like 2 hours a night, like literally like brain fog constantly. So, yeah, this stuff is not easy. It's pretty heavy, and the only place where I've found that I have any sense of control or ability to shift is in my own system. I can't do anything about what's out there, really, honestly. It
Beautiful.
will be what it is. Anyway, if that.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's why that's why I have Andy do push-ups sometimes, or pull-ups, and grunt. That's part of like a go-to if you're feeling anxiety, feeling that pressure. Push-ups and grunt it out, like like fuck, 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 fuck. Like
Sound is
push.
amazing, screaming and
Sound,
a
yeah,
haka.
screaming, right? Yeah, Andy did that in the car the other day, right?
Oh yeah,
Without me, you did it in the car without me one day. You said
yeah,
that you screamed in the car.
yeah. I was hoarse by the time I got back,
Yeah,
but just getting it out. I mean, it's yeah. I'm the king awfulizer. It seems like right now. It's kind of like you were saying, James, because and all of you've said several times. It's just fear of the future. And comparing myself to others of like Like I look at my parents, I'm like, how did this joker manage to have a woman stay married to him for almost 50 years? And I can't, and then you go in your head on the statistics of like, oh, well, now I'm going to be a part of the 43%, and then if I get remarried, then the success rate of that is 70%. Well, maybe I'm just broken, it's just shit like that. The future I'm trying to paint my own negative future that's not even here yet. And like you guys have said, it's just being present in the now. It's the classic scripture of, today has enough of its own troubles, why worry about tomorrow? I know I butchered that. Nathan, hopefully, or you or Nick can help me on that one.
That's what it is. That's
But
what- yeah.
it's stuff like that. And it's tough. And then I hold on. I shared this with Wally. I'll share it with you guys if you spare me another 2 seconds. So,
Yeah, go for it.
Nick, Nathan, I'm sure you've done this in the past where, fervent prayer and do the old Bible open and just see where it opens up. And I was praying so hard the other morning, and I was like, man, you told me if I come to you and ask for wisdom, you're going to give me wisdom. And I opened it up, flopped it open, no dog ear, no bookmark. It went straight to Mark 10. And where Mark 10 is that's where Jesus is talking to I forget the name of them, but the law, the guys that are big into law in that time frame. And then they asked, what do you do about divorce? And that's where Jesus chimed in and said, well, it's because of the hardness of your heart that you guys have divorce. But in reality, in practice, let no man take apart what I have brought together. And so, I mean, that put me in my mindset of, all right, quit trying to push this to an end, aka this marriage. God doesn't want that. It's right here. He's telling me, keep fighting the fight, not necessarily, over pursuing her to push her away, but keep fighting for myself and changing myself. So it's
Yeah,
staying
and that's
present in
it.
the
It's
moment.
fight. Yeah, it's fighting for you, fighting for the real you, the true you, the one that isn't afraid, the one that is no longer detached, the no one that's no longer fearful of how she responds to you, and that you show up with a new value. Actually, it's almost like you create a new value system in yourself, and you become so aware, so awake that and so present to the mistakes that happened in the past, but not because you knew them, because you didn't know them, but you
Hmm.
now have an opportunity where you get to go in and go, wait a minute, these are the mistakes I made. I didn't know what I didn't know, so I can forgive myself, right? And if I can forgive that past, that part of me, and let that go, gives you you give yourself the permission to make new value system for yourself, right? A new understanding, and go, okay, my wife is like this and she's like this, and the relationship was like this. She was responding to me when I was like this, but now she can respond to me like this. I'm now a safer person. She no longer has to walk on eggshells or fear if I'm going to trigger or fear I'm going to make her look stupid or make her wrong. And I have to be right. And she's going to be heard and seen and understood and allowed to be and to create this presence in the relationship that you both were missing for all these years,
You hit the nail
right?
on
And
the
this,
head.
I know.
I was
Ding.
saying, 'cause it's the forgiveness piece that I've been struggling, forgiving
I
myself.
know. Yeah.
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 So Andy, like,
Yes.
isn't it amazing how the Lord will just direct you right to where you need?
Oh yeah.
Because
I mean,
last night for me, the Lord's like Jeremiah 3. So I open up Jeremiah 3. If a man divorces his wife and she goes and becomes another man's wife, will he return to her? Like, oh, okay, cool. Like right there, like immediately, right in my face, what I need to see, and just going through that whole chapter is just like, wow, this is powerful. Like and you knew exactly what I needed to hear, and just like how you opened right to Matthew 10, and it was talking about divorce. It's the same thing, right? Like he's that good that he's going to point you to what you need to see, and it's just so powerful how he uses everything to get us to the place where we can able to start to heal and to deal with what we need to deal with, one step at a time, one day at a time.
Yep.
Please.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's seeking that wisdom, not leaning to my own understanding. That's always the, I forget where in Proverbs it is, but that's the struggle, is like lean not into your own wisdom and your own understanding. It's like, yes, if I could
You
just,
waste knowledge him and he'll make your path straight.
I'm thinking about starting putting some of these verses, tattoo them on my hand so I can just look down whenever I'm just like, being like, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that one. Mm-hmm. Yep, James 1:19, slow to speak. I mean, quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger. Just have them right there ready.
I think, Andy, you're already in the tattoo shop of having it in your spirit.
Yeah, it's tattooed on your heart, man. It's already there.
Yeah.
You're already in the process. And that's what I'm feeling for myself too. Like I think Wally said earlier, the ego was taking, I think it's just, you described it as the ego was taking you to all these scenarios, right? And now for me, like finally hearing that, it's like, I look at all the guys here, and I've seen you, Andy, before too. Like it's like that looks like a strong, driven male, right there. Each of you guys have the features, and you can see it. It's in your DNA. So you imagine the drive of that strength with where our ego takes us. It's like,
wow,
Yeah.
the power behind that. And,
right, and the ego is trying to protect. The ego is trying to protect, right?
Yeah, and that's natural for us to want.
And how and how does the ego protect us? Right? By, hey, you're not gonna fuck with me. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna be right. You're wrong. I'm right.
Yep.
Or you're going to go into detachment. Oh, I'm afraid of that. If you can get out of that way, out of that conscious ego mindset, you go into those, and you can ask yourself, why am I behaving like that? Why do I have to be right? Why do I have to make my wife wrong? Why do I resent my wife? Why is she resenting me? What am I doing or not doing that's causing this to happen? And that's what the ego loves to fucking play in that garden of evil right there. Because once the ego comes in, it's like search and destroy, and it will destroy you from the inside out if you let it. And that's why we got to take control of the bus. And that angry little boy that hasn't been seen, hasn't been heard, wasn't validated, right? Wasn't initiated by his father or his mother, given the tools of understanding of who he is as a man, growing up in the world, right? We didn't know what we didn't know, so now we have to go, oh shit, this is not who I want to be. And if you have that awareness and you already know it's not who you want to be, you commit yourself to doing the work, right? So you can work on having control, and that's why we do the confidence work, right? Why we do wins, why we celebrate, and we go, hell yeah, fuck yeah, hoo, we do all that to bring our confidence up, because our confidence has more power over our ego and our emotions. And that's what helps keep us steady. That's why we have a wins journal, and that's why we go and we celebrate our wins, and we recognize our wins. And when we're feeling down on ourselves, like this morning, I had to look at my wins. And it took me 3 hours to get myself into the place where I could actually do my own emotion work this morning. And I was like, all right, celebrate my wins, build my confidence up. All right, so now I got my confidence up. Now I can go into this place of internal emotion, and confront my ego that was trying to stop me from going into this place in here, keeping me in here. I was like, get out of logic, buddy. Come on, let's get out of logic. Let's drop into the body. And fuck, did I drop into the body? I posted the video, so you guys, if you want to watch me fucking crying like a little bitch, it's up on the community. All right. And I shared that because it's there to give yourselves permission to go there too.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Wally. So
one last thing before we kind of wrap this up. So all fear is fear of death, relational death, financial death, like anything that you're fearing. There's a form of that is always just something that's going to die, and I'm afraid of losing that part of whatever it is. And you can get past that and live in that place of life and joy and bring that to that situation. You can't do that when you're being bound by all of this fear and emotion that, oh, what's going to happen tomorrow, right? Fear of the future, that anxiety that is going to, oh, this could happen or this could happen. And then your mind starts creating situations of what you're going to do and all those things. And you're wasting all this mental energy. And you don't know what's going to happen. And you have to get to a place of acceptance that you don't know, and you're not going to ever know until it actually happens.
That's
but
right.
letting go of that fear so that you can move into the thing in front of you is a powerful tool that you can use instead of having to worry about everything else that's going to happen. And the more you can let go, the easier that becomes. So in my song that I just released, I thought love was only something that I'd feel when in control. But when you showed me to let go, I felt my heart was going to explode. And that release of emotion by letting go has transformed my life. So the fear caused me to hold on so tight that I was strangling relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I was not allowing my wife to have the space that she needed. And she felt trapped. She felt controlled. She felt like she had no other option than to push me away and to cut me out of her life completely. I contributed to that, but there's still her own stuff that she's got to deal with from her own dad not showing up when he needed to. But the fear of losing her was such a huge thing that when I was finally able to grieve that old relationship that got me to that point and let go of all of that, about how am I going to be moving forward? What does that look like for me? Trying to come up with all these scenarios. I'm like, no, I can just be. I don't need to worry about what's going to happen. I can just be who I am. I can work on myself to become the best version of me, one that should be crazy to leave, so that I know that I've done the healing that I know hasn't been done yet. I can do all I can let out all of that hurt and pain that I've been holding on to, so that I'm going to be free when she gets to a point where she comes back. Because I still have co-parenting and stuff, and she's going to see me at these events, and she's going to see the shift in me, and it's going to be fine. And I don't want the old relationship back at all. Like, that'd be crazy, because it was so toxic, and there was no communication, and that's not healthy for anybody. But I still want to have a relationship with the mother of my kids. So I need to make that work by fixing myself. Not that I'm broken. That was one of the biggest lies that I was believing, that I was broken. So I'm not broken. I'm just a work in process. So getting to that place of seeing all fear is just fear of death, and knowing that I can overcome death in any situation was a powerful shift for me. I just wanted to leave that with everybody here.
No, great point, man. Great point.
That's strong,
Hey,
man.
Andy. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Really beautiful. Awesome share. Andy, real quick, are you okay with doing the call tomorrow?
Man, you took the word. You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to text you as soon as we got done and said, "Hey, let's do this tomorrow morning."
Tomorrow, let's see, because I need to. I'm still raw from this morning, and I need to. I don't want my stuff to bleed into you. So
no, I need to. Perfect. No, I need to be with my son anyway. That's perfect. So I'll message you as soon as we drop off. We'll put a time.
All right, perfect, brother. Love you, man.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Well, let's get a celebration, everybody. Let's go. Woo! Hey, baby. Awesome call,
All
guys.
right.
Love
Thank
you,
See you
small
guys.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Paul.
you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.